talking to a friend who has helped me along this process a lot.
Yeah.
And she was like, you could do this here. You could really be an influencer. I'm like, you think so? So I was like, let's just do it. I was scared. And so a lot of things I haven't done in life was out of fear. So I was like, I'm not going to let fear kind of dictate this part of my life anymore.
Welcome back to another episode of the Wildest CEO podcast. Today I have with me Sierra, who to me, I like to say she's an influencer, style icon, and honestly a branding guru. Like her page is just so aesthetically pleasing.
Um, so thank you for those compliments. I'm new to this influencing kind of world, so sometimes it's a little bit rough for me to take in compliments because it's like I feel like I don't know anything.
Oh my.
But that is something I am pursuing full time,
Mhm.
to be an influencer. And I'm working in the marketing realm, doing some social media marketing, just in general. So that's what I'm currently doing. I have a degree in athletic training, um,
Okay.
which is a medical degree. And to be here now, it's just like, whoa.
Yeah. I was just gonna say that I
Um,
didn't know that you actually had a degree in oh my gosh, I forgot what you said.
Athletic training,
Athletic.
yeah.
Yeah, okay.
hmm Yeah,
Wow.
so that's a little bit about me.
Okay, that's what I'm
Um,
curious though. How did you kind of get into influencing then if you kind of have a degree in athletic?
so at first, well, and being in college and doing athletic training my sophomore year, I was like,
Mhm.
I don't want to do this at all. But I didn't have any other insight about what to do next. So I was like, I'm just gonna keep going. And
Yeah.
then by the time I got to my junior year, I was like, I think I have an idea of what I want to do, but I don't want to change my major and have to start all over again. So
Mhm.
let's keep going. So during that time, I was into events. So I was the president of an organization in college, and so we did a lot of events on campus for students and things of that nature. So I was like, "This is fun. I enjoy this."
Mhm.
So I pursued events, but I wanted to do more social events, so baby showers, weddings, birthday parties, and I did that for the past year. And I was like, "Actually, the social media thing sounds pretty cool." I had been talking to a friend who has helped me along this process a lot.
Yeah.
And she was like, you could do this here. You could really be an influencer. I'm like, you think so? So I was like, let's just do it. I was scared. And so a lot of things I haven't done in life was out of fear. So I was like, I'm not going to let fear kind of dictate this part of my life anymore.
Yeah.
So I was like, let's just do it scared. And so here we are doing it
Oh,
scared still.
that is so, like, golden honest because I
Yeah.
was just supposed to pivot into that and actually kind of how you got into it because I feel like when I look at influencing, I am always so intimidated by it because 'cause I'm like, the content creation and just getting in front of the camera, it's something that,
Mm.
a lot of people are really self-conscious about. So, I guess what's kind of your routine and, like, your habits, the way of just, like, putting stuff out there, It's just like, okay, I'm done editing it. It's just gonna be out there."
Yeah. I think one thing that helps is my sister, if I'm being completely honest.
Mhm.
I bounce ideas off of her. I say, hey, does this look good? Like, what are your thoughts about this? And sometimes she'll be a worse critic than myself. And I'll just like, you know what? It's fine. It's fine. I'm posting it, whatever. But as far as a routine, I still struggle with that. Um, I'll just take a day out of the month, or if I yeah, once I see I don't have enough content to continue on, I'll be like, okay, let's take this day, let's shoot 3 to 4 different outfits
Mhm.
and edit them and just put them out there and just go with it. Um, I think I sometimes I want to come off as this, like that I have it together, but it's not at all like that. So just one foot in front of the other.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I
Mhm.
love that, honestly. It's so, like that's one thing I actually, like, wanna pause and say that I love about your page and, kind of your branding so far. It's you're very open and transparent about, like, "This isn't easy, and even
Yeah.
I kind of stumble and make mistakes with this," and you kinda
hmm
let your, kind of followers, your community really in on that side of you, that kind of behind the scenes content, and to really break down this facade that, like, we don't always have it together. Even your
Yeah.
favorite influencers, you know?
Mhm.
And that's something that I really value and just keeps me coming back to your page, honestly.
Mm.
So I just want to put the little nugget out there and just let you know you're
That's good to
doing
know. Yeah, that's very encouraging because that's one thing I told myself, like, in the beginning. I was like, "I don't wanna look like I have it together. I don't wanna seem like." Because I think, like, when you look at some influencers, like, "Oh my god, their life is perfect. They have everything," and it's just like, "No,
yeah,
I don't wanna come off that way." So,
yeah,
yeah, thank you.
agreed. Of
Mhm.
course. So you talked a little bit earlier how like sometimes you'll just take a day out of the month and just shoot content. For you, how long does that process like usually take?
Well, if we're starting back at hair and makeup,
Oh my
all the
god.
way to the last photo, it could take 4 to 6 hours.
Yeah. Oh,
So, yeah, it's like
and
going to work.
it really honestly is. But you know, it's only like one day out the month, right? You know,
Right,
it's not
it
too bad.
is.
It's a
So,
nice trade off.
it's not too bad. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I know that,
Mhm.
like, I even try to, like, shoot reels myself, and I'm like, it takes me an hour plus to, like, do one reel, like, start to finish, and
Yeah.
it's still not super perfect, like, I still have to go back and edit it, you know? So,
Right,
just changing
right.
the outfits and things like that, I know, like, some of your transitions and things like that, like, it just seems so daunting, but for you, I guess, what's kind of the trade-offs, keep you putting out the content, because like at some point I'm just like, okay, I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore. But I guess what keeps you
Um,
like shooting content really, putting stuff out there?
yeah, I think it would be, I have a goal to make this my job. So it's just like, if
This is
I wanna
it.
get paid,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
And then
Okay.
yeah, and then also I mentioned my friend, her name is Lauren, and
Hmm.
she's an influencer, and I remember one time I hadn't posted for like 2 weeks or something like that. She was like, "Hey, are you still interested in this? Like, what's going on?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, "You're right." And so she helps me a lot. She motivates me. Um, like I said, my sister, she's my best friend, and those 2 people right there, they help me a lot.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. That
Yeah.
support system. Sounds like you have a really great support
Yeah, it's
system
huge.
that's
It
trying to
is.
keep you going because it's a hard game. It's a hard industry. I dipped my
Yeah,
toe in,
for
that's
sure.
it. But
Yeah. And I also enjoy it, if I'm being completely honest. Like, it sounds like a lot, it sounds like a lot of work, but it's fun. I enjoy it. Like, I, yeah, I enjoy it. I remember yesterday I was talking to a friend, and we were asking each other what we wanted to be when we grew up, and I
mhm.
told her, I was like, I wanted to be a fashion designer and a photographer." And just to see it kinda, like, transform into kind of what I'm doing. I'm not designing any clothes, but I do love clothes and fashion and shopping and taking pictures. So,
Mhm.
I don't know. It's just kind of, I guess, what is that? Foreshadowing.
Yeah, I say so. Yeah.
Okay.
So no, no, that's a good point too. You said that like you kind of love fashion and kind of like maybe a little bit design, but not really designing right now. But I guess
Hmm.
I kind of said before too that I think that your style, like I love your style. How would you like describe your style? Like, what do you kind of say like you like more so to wear?
Well, what I would love to wear is heels every day. I really would, but it's not realistic for my lifestyle. I'm
Yeah.
very much on the go, it seems like all the time. So, but a lot of my pictures, I am wearing heels, although that's not an everyday thing for me.
Hmm.
Um, I don't even know because I feel like it just depends on what I'm in the mood for. Because sometimes it's just I can make these hoodies and sweats look real good today if I'm just in the mood for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I like a little bit of streetwear. I really love monochromatic looks. That right there, I love those type of looks. Um, so I really wanna get into luxury fashion, so that's
Hmm.
what I think I'm trying to copy after when I'm doing my outfits or putting together
Okay.
an outfit for the day, so
I see it. It's
yeah.
coming together really nicely. How would you say that like
Awesome.
you have come to find your style? Like a lot of people, for me, I don't even think I really know what my style is. I don't think I have a style, but how did you kind of find that for you?
That's a good question. Hmm, I think mainly Pinterest.
Oh my god, yeah.
I get a Pinterest for everything. I'm like, okay, I like this, I don't like this, and then just discovering how to recreate those outfits, or that kind of gave me some guidelines of like, okay, this is what I need to be looking for, and this is the style I want.
Mhm.
Um, let's see. I feel like, that's a really good question because I was just looking through my pictures. I'm like, I feel like my style has kind of changed
Yeah.
since even January.
Mhm.
So, um, yeah. So Pinterest and it is whatever I'm in the mood for.
Yeah, yeah, no, I definitely
Mhm.
have a bajillion Pinterest boards, and it's
Mhm.
definitely, like, by mood and season, I think, um,
Yeah.
in terms of, like, what I'm kinda feeling for that time. Because, and also sometimes, like, I just have things out there, I'm like, "Okay, I know that wouldn't look good on me, but it looks good on you, so Imma like it." Um, but yeah, I feel like I struggle with that so much, and when people are like, "Oh my gosh, what's your style?" I'm like, "I don't really know. Ask me again,
Yeah.
like, in 2 months, it'll be something totally different."
Right.
But,
For sure.
uh
Because recently I would say like what I want to be my style, I haven't been dressing in at all.
mhm,
Like the tweed or like a Chanel type of like vibe or look. Like I
yeah,
said, I have to wear heels every day for that. And it's too hot to wear tweed right now. So
it
that's
is.
what I want it to be.
Yeah, yeah, you're in Georgia, yeah?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I know, Georgia, it's like you kinda think it's getting cooler, and then, like, you're going through the day, and it's, like, hot as crap, like,
It
it
is.
doesn't get cold until maybe November, if you're lucky at
Right.
that.
For sure. For sure.
I
Yeah.
get that, yeah, it's like, you kinda wanna have those layers so you can kinda take things off throughout the day,
Hmm.
but I get that, honestly.
And that's why it's my favorite season, like especially winter.
Mhm.
Dressing in the winter, I just love the fashion so much more because you can just get creative with the different layers and patterns and textures and whatever. So,
Yeah, yeah.
mhm.
Also too, like, kinda with that, how do you? Because I think that you pair things really nicely, so is it a lot of just Pinterest or maybe some other kind of things that you kind of picked up along the way, with influencing maybe?
Mhm. Um, no, I wouldn't give all my credit to Pinterest. I think I try to be creative on my own as well. But I on my page, a lot of people know I'm obsessed with Zara,
Yeah,
and I just go in there, I'll look through things, see that they have a new fall collection out or whatever, and I'll just save things. And once I get the money to buy it, then I'll purchase it. And I don't really have a plan with the pieces I buy, like as
mhm,
far as like, oh, this is going to go with this. I just buy pieces um, and mix and match along the
yeah,
way because a lot of my clothes, I don't have a lot of color. I maybe have two or no, like three or four things that are pink and maybe two things that are green, and that's about it. Everything's black, white, brown,
yeah,
cream. And so it's a lot easier to match or to create my outfits because I'm like, well, everything matches. So
yeah.
I'm just buying pieces that I don't know, make me feel a certain type of way instead of planning what the outfit is going to be. I don't know if that makes sense.
It does. It makes sense, and
Yeah.
honestly, like, I'm in that same boat. I have so much, like, many neutrals, blacks, browns too, and I go in my closet and I'm like, "I really need some more, like, color." So now when I try to go shopping, like, I'm trying to say, "Can I find outfits to match?" Because otherwise I know that
Mhm.
it's gonna be so hard and I'm never gonna wear some things, but I don't know.
Mhm.
I think that's where that creativity piece comes in a little bit maybe. I'm very much so, like, it's one color and that's it. So
Mhm.
and honestly, like, I've tried Zara. I really like some of the pieces that Zara has, but when I
Mhm.
go on there, I'm like, "I don't know how I'm gonna make
It's
this work."
it's I've heard that before too. Like some people have a hard time shopping on there because
Mhm.
I mean, let's be honest, some of their models or their modeling tactics are just like, what is
Yeah.
going on here? What is she doing? What am I actually looking at right now? So
Mhm.
it feels like more like a magazine than, you know, like a regular shopping website. I don't know if that
Yeah.
makes sense. So I don't know.
It
I
does,
don't
it
know.
does. It's an
Maybe.
interesting shopping experience, to say the
Yeah.
least. And I don't know if there's,
What?
like, a Zara storefront here in America. Is there? And I think
Yeah.
there's a few. Okay. There are?
Are you in Georgia too?
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay. So, well, duh, we are gonna meet in Atlanta. But anyway, I know there's one in Lenox. There's one in what is up north perimeter? Yeah.
I did not know that, and I go
Yeah.
to Linux fairly often, I've never noticed it. Okay, I'll have to check it out, like, in store
It's a
and see.
madhouse, if I'm being completely honest. I'd
Oh my
rather do it online because if just go early,
yeah,
try to avoid lines and it yeah,
okay.
yeah,
Okay, when you
it can
said
be a
Madhouse, I
mess.
was thinking, like, is it like a Forever 21 kinda like Madhouse or just, like, just
It
busy?
is pretty big. It
Mhm.
is pretty big, and they have a lot of pieces, but it's not, it can get a little wild as far as, like, where things are because people just pick up and leave things, but
Yeah.
it's not overcrowded in that sense, like Forever 21 is, in my opinion. But yeah, it's a lot of people. I like Perimeter better than the Linux location.
Okay. Okay, I'll have to
Yeah.
go check them out, honestly, and
Mhm.
see, because when I was staying on campus, like, I saw a lot of people, like, with Zara packages, and I was like, "I don't get it, like, it's not clicking," you know? But, like, some of the times, like, when I go on your page, you're like, yeah, I think you just tag, like, a pencil skirt from, like, a leather pencil skirt, and I was like, "That
Mhm.
looks actually nice," like, something that I would wear from
Right.
Zara, you know? So it's just kinda, like,
Mhm.
going through it, I guess, and finding those pieces, so
Yeah. I'll
what do
try
you
to do
think about
better at that because, yeah, it can be confusing on the website a little bit.
yeah, yeah, for sure. So I want to pivot a little bit to uh, something you kind of talked about earlier in terms of like Pinterest and just kind of finding your brand and being intentional about that. So for you, how would you say that you were able to really establish like your brand identity to like help you stand out like amongst other influencers and what's kind of I guess that really good piece that you would say is like your brand really.
Hmm, that's a good question. I the first thing that came to mind is, like, I feel like my followers just have helped me
Hmm.
establish a brand because, I don't get that many, likes, comments, saves, or whatever, reshares about lifestyle things. I get
Hmm.
more, reaction or, um, interaction or engagement from the followers when it's strictly clothing. So, although I definitely love to venture off into lifestyle, maybe travel one day, but it just seems like right now they've picked my niche for me, which is clothing, which gets expensive on my part, but I do enjoy it. So I think that has helped. I don't know. When you say that I have a brand, I just never thought of myself in that way.
Hmm.
Um, so I think that I'm still trying to discover or understand what my brand is.
Okay.
Um, so yeah.
You know, that's really interesting that you say it because honestly, if I go and like look at your page, like you guys just take a second. I'm gonna drop her Instagram handle in the description here, but go take a look at it and like tell me that she doesn't have a brand. It's just so interesting to say that because like I look at it and everything just seems like one piece. It's so like intentional, like every piece was meant to go after that one. And
Mm,
to me, it's so awesome because honestly, it's a breath of fresh air in terms of, you know, some of the other maybe influences that you see. And it's like, okay, well, this is someone that I can maybe relate to a little bit more, and she's killing
mm.
it, you know? So I think that's interesting that you say or you think that you don't have a brand actually, but maybe
I
it's
think
more
I'm
so
just like discovering, like
yeah.
in this discovery phase.
Mhm.
Because I definitely wanted to move to lifestyle and not saying it won't happen, but once I was like, oh, they don't like this at all. I was like, that's okay.
Yeah.
So, um, yeah, and I mean, the black, white, and neutrals, I mean, I try to keep it clean and concise with that, but outside of that,
Mhm.
like I said, I'm still trying to learn or discover. Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. Ooh, oh my gosh, it just left me. My
That's
other
all right.
it was a follow-up to oh, okay,
Okay,
so you
okay.
said you wanted to, like, maybe go into lifestyle and maybe travel, like, in the future. Do you, like, currently have maybe a plan or maybe some steps on how you kinda wanna pivot into that or, like, when you maybe wanna pivot into that?
I don't necessarily have a plan. I'm giving myself about 3 to 4 years. I
Mhm.
mean, to venture into that travel aspect of it for sure. Um, we're still in a pandemic, so it's a little so some things are a little strange and fuzzy when it comes to traveling.
Mhm.
But I yeah, I don't necessarily have a plan. I think well, I take that back. First thing I thought about is, like, just, going to hotels that are local,
Yeah.
in the
Mhm.
Atlanta area, starting there, showing them, like, for free. Like, going to the hotel, showing them what I can do, what I'm capable of, and then posting it and hopefully getting some credit or some traction that way, and
Mhm.
then going from there, be like, "Oh, I stayed at a Ritz-Carlton in Atlanta. How about you fly me out to the one in New York so I
Yeah.
can take some content for you," you know? So one thing that I wanted to originally just do social media management or coaching, but I was
Mhm.
talking to someone who is a manager and coach, and she was like, how are you going to get clients if people don't know that you can do it yourself? So I
Mm.
think I've just taken on that mindset. Like, people want to have proof that they want to see a resume, they want to see some type of portfolio that you are capable of doing something. So
Yeah.
creating that portfolio for myself by just going to um, a hotel in Atlanta or something like that and building some credibility there. So that would be my first step.
Okay. Okay, so there's something I wanna, like, call out and kind of really, like, point in terms of I don't hear this a lot when people are talking about maybe something they really, really wanna do and really they're passionate about is I asked you, like, how or what's kind of the timeline for this, and you said 3 to 4 years. Most people, they're like, "I want it within, like, 2 months. I want it tomorrow." You know? And it's just, like,
Yeah.
the fact that you already have, like, this long term in mind, like, this is something that I really wanna do, and I'm patient. I'm okay with it taking a while. I think you're already setting yourself up for, like, so much
Mhm.
success, honestly. Because some people get so discouraged when it doesn't come instantly, right? Like, we have this
Yeah.
microwave mentality. We want it instantly, and that's it. If it doesn't work,
Yeah.
then it just wasn't meant to work out, you
That's
know?
true. Yeah. Yeah.
So
That's for sure. That's true.
yeah, so I just wanted to, like, call it out because 'cause I'm like, and even with me sometimes, I'm just like, I don't really know if I wanna wait that long, but if it's something that you're really passionate about and something that, like, you're really gonna make your own and make
Hmm.
your mark in, time isn't really of the fact of the
Right.
matter, you
Yeah.
know? If you're being
Hmm.
intentional about it.
For
Um,
sure.
so that's something too that kind of flows really nicely into like the next kind of question I had for you is just standing firm in like what you believe, and how you kind of like go about picking and deciding which brands you really want to promote or kind of represent. Because I know, like for me, you post a picture on there and you get like these people in your comments are like, "Hey, DM us for a collab," you know. So I know in those times, I'm like, okay, that's a scam. I'm not doing that. But for other kind of maybe well-known companies that come up to you and ask you to maybe promote something or show something on your page. How do you kind of go through that and decide and discern like which ones are actually for you?
Hmm. Well, I think right now, if I'm being completely honest, as it doesn't go against my core values, then
Yeah,
I'm gonna do it. If they're paying, I'm gonna do it.
yeah, yeah.
Because right now I've gotten more beauty brand deals than I have like clothing or anything like that. So, um, and that's how it started from my friend as well. Beauty brand deals are a lot easier and quicker to get than the clothing ones or shoes or something like that. So I'm just starting with that and then hopefully building upon that. And then, um, I mean, as far as like what I will and won't do, you won't catch me in lingerie. You won't catch me showing someone underwear. Like, I'm not doing that. I don't
Yeah.
want myself exposed in that type of light or way. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I get that. Just having like your values and your
mm,
morals kind of above, just getting a paycheck. Um,
right. Hmm.
but w- I don't know if you know the answer to this, so that's okay. But do you know like maybe why it's a little bit easier to get those beauty deals versus like maybe clothing deals? Is there kind of a science behind that? It's just kind of how it is.
I, I honestly, I feel like maybe the beauty stuff, that's a really good question. If I just went off of my own logic,
Hmm.
I'd say like it's a lot quicker to get. Um,
Mm,
it's not as expensive, some things.
yeah.
People, I mean, yeah, I'm trying to think what else. Hmm. Yeah, if I had to come up with anything, those would be the first 2 things that pop up in my mind. Outside of that, I just think clothing is, they're not just gonna send you 1 shirt.
Yeah, that's
Like,
true.
that's kinda lame. Like,
No.
they need to send you, like, multiple things for you to try and to have and to test the quality and to be able to build outfits with and things of that nature versus you just sending me mascara or
Mhm.
your like, I'm doing a deal with a brand, like, there's these ice cubes or whatever. So, they're not as expensive as I feel like sending someone a bulk of clothing. I don't know. That's
Yeah.
just my personal take.
No, that makes sense, honestly. So, like, for you, I've kind of heard about, like, kind of those influencer networks in terms of, like, getting these brand deals, but for you, do you kind of have, like, a process that you kinda more so go along with now? Is it kind of a little bit of cold calling or cold messaging for you?
A little bit of both.
Mhm.
I'll get on those platforms and I'll look for things or look for deals with people. That's how I found the Ice Cube one that I'll be posting soon.
Okay.
And I also will send out cold emails to people. Yeah.
Yeah,
With
yeah.
deal like, I don't know, I'll also this is kind of well, I'll like on my store when I'm watching stories, you'll get those sponsors
Oh, yeah, yeah.
ads or
Right.
whatever in between the
Mhm.
stories. So if I see something, I'm like, "Oh, that kinda matches my aesthetic." I'll screenshot it and I'll go back and find the company, find an email, or I'll DM them, ask them for an email, and I'll go kinda along that way as well. Because I feel like there's a lot of brands and stuff out there that I haven't even heard of. So those sponsorships and those ads help me a lot um, when sending cold emails. Yeah.
Okay. So I know you said you DM to get emails. What's kind of like another way that you're trying to go about and like find emails? Do you like kind of just Google maybe the company or there's like a specific person or position within the company like you're looking for?
hmm I go to LinkedIn. I
Oh,
use
okay.
LinkedIn. Yeah. And so I have an account with LinkedIn and I'll look up the company and then I'll look for someone like in public relations or influence marketing or marketing in general, something
Mhm.
that is related in some type of capacity. So
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my
that's what I
gosh.
do.
How many of those like emails would you say like you probably sent out like a week?
If I'm being transparent, I need to do better. I probably send out last week I sent out about 5 to 8, if I
Mhm.
can remember correctly. So I really like to get on a consistent basis of sending like 10 a week.
Okay.
So overall, that's like 40 a month. So I need to be more aggressive. I just
It's
I'm
hard,
not
I
too.
know.
It
It's hard
is.
cold messaging people, like, I
It's
know. Like, I try it,
yeah.
and then maybe you will kind of see, like, they read it, and they just didn't respond, it's just like, "Oh,
Mm,
that hurts," like, it stung a little
right.
bit. But then it's like, "Okay, I'm just telling myself it's okay, the next one will be it,"
Mhm.
you know? Um,
Right. Right.
so oh my gosh, yeah. I
Yeah.
I'm
So
learning that
it's
myself. It's a process.
Mhm. It is. So, I mean, I have a template that I send, like, I send every brand pretty much the same email.
Mhm.
I'll change a few things or wording, or I'll mention something that, like, they have that I like a specific item that I wanna try or something to that nature, but other than that, it's the same email, so it shouldn't be that hard for me
Yeah.
to do, but I just haven't taken the time, if I'm being completely honest. I think I have the time, I just haven't taken it.
Yeah, yeah, I get you. And always like sometimes for me, it's like when I send it out, I'm not really ready for the reply because then I get the reply, my heart starts beating, and I'm like, what do I
Mhm.
actually like say? How do I respond at that point? But
Right, yeah.
it just comes with kind
Mhm,
of experiencing, just kind of like getting that muscle memory. So actually, how long have you been like doing maybe the cold messaging part, like just reaching out to brands for like some of those deals or partnerships?
maybe for the past month?
Mhm.
Yeah, a month and a half-ish. Yeah.
Okay, okay, gotcha.
Mhm.
That's actually interesting. I was
So
like, I don't know. I was trying to think about in terms of like just your page and your content. Like,
mhm.
it's been a little bit more than that. So I guess before you're just like putting and footing some of like your own money to get these things and kind of promote them.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Mhm,
and that can get
mhm,
pretty expensive too.
mhm,
So like, is
mhm.
there kind of a budget that you have, or it's just kind of like I just need to do this. I just need to get it out. Um, what's kind of like that look like for you?
Eh, I I wish I had a budget.
Yeah.
I most of the time I do a monthly budget for my spending.
Mhm.
So I'll just kind of look at the full month and I'll be like, let's see what I can do this month. Sometimes it's 200, sometimes it's 400. It just depends on what I have going on in that month. And then sometimes it's just like, let's just spend 600 and then return all of it.
Oh my gosh.
So,
Okay.
yeah, so it just really depends. So yeah, it depends. And then I call myself getting sponsors, which is like, hey grandma, um, so do you want to like send me a few $100s so I can buy this? And it sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yes. Okay. So two things quickly too, because I
mhm.
you posted I think a reel on that part in terms of
Yeah.
returning things, and I was like, oh my god! Like at that point, like I was just starting. I wouldn't say influencer marketing, but I guess it was kind of multi-level marketing actually. But I reached out to you about it too, and I was like, how do I get this product out without sounding like too pushy, but then also like
Mhm.
not like going bankrupt basically. And you're
Right.
like, no, like I return it, and it's like there are so many other influencers that honestly do the same thing, but like they
Mhm.
have this front of the show. You're like, you know what? I have this all. And honestly, you're just like a regular person. You're like, I don't have the money to get all of this today
Mhm.
or even tomorrow. So, it's just that transparency in terms of, really picking and choosing what's for you. Like, I'm showing you this just so you get an idea. I'm not telling you to go buy it all today,
Right.
but at least
Mhm.
you kind of know some ideas of how to put things together. Okay, cool. So, we just talked about stepping out on faith, really, and just standing firm in what you believe in terms of deciding which brand deals you want and really just kind of leaning into that discomfort a little bit. So the next thing I kind of want to pivot into is just showing up with confidence, because when you step out into influencer marketing, or really anything where you're putting your face out on the internet, you're going to have people that want to troll you, right? And people that are
Mhm.
sending just such negative vibes your way. Like for you, how do you kind of combat that and just kind of bounce back from it?
Fortunately, I haven't had any troll like comments
Mm.
yet. I
Uh-huh.
know they will eventually come.
Yeah.
Um, and I think like what you said, just like standing confident in who you are and what you believe. And I think like when you do that, when you're secure in who you are, I mean, those comments, like, it's just like,
Hmm.
okay, brush that one off, keep moving forward. I know who I am and I see who, you look at all these other positive comments that people are saying. Like, of course, you just want to ruin someone's day. But like I said, I haven't dealt with that or I haven't seen any troll like comments
Hmm.
at this
Oh, that's
point
so
of my
awesome.
journey. So,
Yeah, I pray that like that he stays like that for you, because
oh yeah, me too.
I really hate, that people really just take the time out of their day to just be negative, and it's like if you don't like it, just keep
Yeah,
going.
right.
But
It's like you didn't have to come here.
exactly, you took it the time out of your day to
Right.
be negative for what, sir or
Hmm. Right.
but another thing too is like that the fact that like you can have 10 positive comments and that one negative comment just really sticks out with you and you're like, like I have fallen
Hmm.
prey to that myself, and I just wanted to
Mm.
like pinpoint that because honestly that's just something we can all do. You fixate on what's wrong with life and
Right.
what's going wrong in any situation that you overlook the positive, right? So for me,
Hmm.
one thing that's always something I like to call out and say in terms of just starting your day with like a morning routine in terms of looking for those positive things, training your mind to look for the positive because I don't know what it is or where we kind of picked up that habit to just always quickly go jump to the negative. Like if
Hmm.
I were to ask like anyone right now, tell me 5 things that like are going well in your life. Tell me 5 things you're grateful for right now. We'd probably be here all night. But if I were to
Hmm.
ask you, tell me 10 or just 3 things, that are going wrong. Oh, you would rattle those off in 30 seconds.
For
you
sure.
know?
Yeah. That's
And
so
it's just
true. Yeah.
yeah. And it's just like, retraining your mind to really look for that because whatever you kind of like tell yourself, it's going back, like your mind just instantly just finds it. It's kind of like when you see a car that you like, or you get a car, like for me, I got an Audi, right? And now I see Audis everywhere on the road, right?
Yeah.
They were always there. They didn't just come out with a car.
Right.
It's just now
Right.
you're like, okay, well, consciously thinking about or subconsciously thinking about it, and your mind just kind of connects it. So
Hmm.
I just wanted to call that
Yeah,
out
that's
and just
good.
really say that that is
Yeah.
so golden, and something that, like, if you're jumping into that influencer marketing realm, like yourself, or influencer realm yourself, look for the positive and stick with the positive. The negative
Yeah.
is always going to be there at some point, but it's not
Hmm.
going to outweigh positive.
That's true. And that's very encouraging. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Hmm.
Okay, guys. So we are wrapping up just about. Um, we've talked all things stepping out on faith, being confident, leaning into that discomfort, uh, defining or discovering your brand, and all
Hmm.
these other just amazing, amazing things, honestly, when it comes to uh, going all in on your dreams and your goals here. Um, okay, Sierra, too, if you don't mind, just let the folks know, how old are you?
I am 23. I'll be
Okay.
24 in December.
Same here. I'll be 24 in December too. So I just want to
Okay,
call
nice.
that out, because this podcast is all about, young people really kind of stepping up and going all in on their dreams now, not waiting until you hit some certain age or some certain milestone in life
For
before
sure.
you're like, yep, I can do this.
Hmm.
So I just wanted to call that out and highlight that, and just reassure you, in whatever stage you are, wherever you are in life, that you can accomplish all that you want, and more. Just because you've gone down a certain path, you did the path of athletic training in undergrad and not doing anything like remotely close to that. It's okay to kind of pivot and move on from things
Hmm.
when they don't really serve you anymore, and that's okay, because you're stepping into your purpose and who you are more so.
True.
And that's a
Yeah,
good point
that's
too. Okay,
good.
so something I didn't ask you before: what do you think is kind of your purpose, or like God-driven like mission in life? Have you think you found that yet, or?
I think um I think I'm really meant to help people
Mhm.
in some type of capacity. I think helping people with fashion is just a fraction of what he wants me to do in life.
Yeah.
So, I have, yeah, what I ultimately want to do is to help establish and develop businesses.
Mhm.
Um, so that's the main goal. So just these little nuggets of helping people, I just believe is going to help get to the ultimate purpose that he's calling me towards.
Mhm.
Um, I think also, I think there's a slight difference between like a purpose and a calling. So,
Okay.
like, my purpose may be to help people, but where he's calling me to help people may look different, and maybe one season of ministry, one season of influencing. So, like, still doing my purpose, but in a different way. So, that's how I like to think of it. So, I don't know if that answers the question at all.
No, that's a good perspective, a good insight, because honestly, I've kind of always thought that the two were synonymous, but the way that you broke it down is really like golden, and something that I didn't even think of before. Like your purpose and your calling being two different things. And the fact that it kind of sounds like maybe your purpose is kind of stagnant or it stays the same, but your calling can kind of
Right.
change. Okay.
Hmm.
The season, maybe with the time, and it's kind of like, okay, well, now it's time to move on a little bit, right?
Hmm.
So
Right.
one thing I did just want to kind of unpack is, what's kind of the difference between like ministry and maybe influence, in your maybe opinion?
I honestly think they could be the same.
Okay.
I feel like I can still do ministry through influencing. I can still represent Christ through influencing.
Hmm.
I mean, people don't see me cussing on my page. You don't
Yeah,
see any type of raunchiness
it's wholesome
because, like,
content.
yeah. So I think definitely I can do ministry through influencing. I can still be a light for Christ through
Hmm.
my page. So,
Okay, gotcha,
mhm.
gotcha. That makes sense, honestly. And I guess maybe the last thing here, we're gonna wrap it up,
Okay.
is give us your some words of wisdom, maybe your favorite quote, or something that's really a lesson that's really stuck with you lately. Just give us some encouragement before we kind of close it out here.
Yeah. I think I would the main thing that I look or remind myself of is do it scared. like I mentioned in the beginning of the podcast, like, I just fear is such a liar. It gets in the way of so many hopes and dreams. So, um, do it scared. Even so, yeah, that's my encouragement. Do it scared. And then also something that I like is I saw this like a quote somewhere. It was like, put some grind behind that prayer. So
Mm.
like although you're praying like, God, open this door, God, do this, da da da. But it's like you still have to be the hands and feet. And like you still need if you can't just expect to get these brand deals if you don't send an email, you know? So it's just like, yeah, you're praying and stuff and having faith, but also putting some work behind it. Like, what is it? Faith without works is dead.
Yes, I
So
was just gonna say that.
so it's just like, yeah, you can pray and it's great to pray and it's great to have faith and what the Lord can do, but it's just like you have to put some work behind it.
Yeah, yeah. That's
So,
Faith Without Works is Dead was my drill instructor in high school, his favorite thing to say, because you can just be like, I believe we're gonna do this. I know we're gonna do this. I'm in faith that we're
mhm,
gonna do this. And it's just like, you haven't even started, you just kind of
right.
sit back with your hands, crossed, and
Mhm.
like you take one step, God will take two steps. So
Yep.
you just gotta start and get started. And I love the fact that you
That's
said,
good.
fear is a lie. And
Mhm.
has just the golden, I haven't heard that, in a while, honestly. And it's just like something that really made me think and just be like, dang, that's so true.
Yeah.
Whatever you're fearful
I think
of.
I've heard right. It's just
Yeah.
but people breaking down fear as an acronym, I think they said like false evidence appearing real or something like
Hmm.
that.
Yeah.
So it's just like, whatever you are fearing, it's false. It's a lie. Keep moving forward towards what you want. Because I mean, I hate to get any too churchy, but it's just like we have an enemy. Like, of course, he's going to try to deceive us and put things in our mind and our heads, be like, oh, you can't do this, or what happens if this happens? Like, well, I
Yeah.
serve a big God. And if this is, I mean, he's going to make it work for me if I continue to, do the work. So,
Yeah. And that enemy boy, it shows up in many different ways at many different times. So
very much.
you just
Yes,
have to
he
be prepared, honestly. But another thing that kind of just came back to mind, like when you were talking a little bit more about fear and kind of like those doubts, is something I heard from one of my mentors, and he's like, doubt your doubts and believe your beliefs. And I was like, that was so golden. You just repeated like the same thing over and over again. But it's so true, if you
That's good.
second think like those, comments that come out, what if this or what if that? And you believe and stand firm in your faith and what your purpose is, your calling is, you're already
Mhm.
set, you know?
That was so good. Yeah.
Oh, this was so much fun. And I really appreciate this is just you, honestly. I don't
Oh, thank
I
you.
don't have anything that I'm like, okay, this was a show. Like, no, this is honestly Sierra, y'all. And this is why I love her and I love her content so
Mm.
much. And I really, really want to thank you so much for coming on the show and sharing with us a little bit about some of your passions and your goals and things like that. Um, but
Well, thank you for having me. This was a lot of fun. I feel like I could talk to you all day.
yeah,
So this is you. Yeah, this is great. I really enjoyed myself. Thank you.
when you start to pivot into more some lifestyle things, some travel things, we're going to bring you back. Okay.
Okay.